How do you feel about that? Do you feel like you belong here on this team?
Obviously, I think overall as a player, I feel like I put in the work. I feel like everything I do, I try to do it to my best, and that's all I ask for. So
to come to the 3s and 4s that you're playing with that aren't going to be on the squad and not going to make the team, give your quarterback a chance. Okay, you know what? You know they can't hold up that long. Let's play quick game. Let's play quick game just to get Shedeur in the goddamn rhythm. But no, you come out calling regular offensive plays that are very long.
I think with all of our players, Mary Kay, there's things that we can do better, and there's some good moments out there, but that's what our job as coaches, to develop our guys.
And they're at practice. Shedeur Sanders is not their priority. When he is at practice, he was staying hours beforehand, leaving hours later.
I'm outraged, I'm sickened, and I'm saddened. By the way, Shedeur continues to be treated in the National Football League, now by those sorry-ass Browns and sorry-ass Kevin Stefanski.
No, I gotta watch the film, honestly. I can't say what it was. It's definitely a different place where I could got my eyes in better spots and got to the progressions quicker, and regardless of anything, so all those sack stuff, they definitely on me.
Like, listen, we see it. We see it clear as day. But they just on it, oh, he played bad. He's ass. He sucked. He's a 5th rounder. He's not that good. Well, of course, yes, based on what you saw today, but we're trying to tell you why it looked that way.
What happens when a promising quarterback gets thrown to the wolves by his own coaching staff? Last night, Shedeur Sanders experienced something that no rookie should ever have to endure, a complete systematic breakdown that left him broken, frustrated, and questioning everything he thought he knew about professional football. But here's the shocking part. This wasn't just bad luck or rookie mistakes. This was a calculated setup for failure that has analysts like Stephen A. Smith and Skip Bayless absolutely furious. I'm about to reveal exactly how Kevin Stefanski and the Cleveland Browns orchestrated one of the most unfair situations in recent NFL history, and why what happened to Shedeur could change everything about how we view rookie development. Stick around, because the evidence I'm about to show you will make you question everything you thought you knew about fair coaching practices. Welcome back to the channel, where we dive deep into the stories that matter most in the NFL. If you're new here, make sure to hit that subscribe button, because we're about to break down one of the most controversial coaching decisions of the preseason. Today, we're talking about Shedeur Sanders and what many are calling a deliberate sabotage by the Cleveland Browns coaching staff. This isn't just another rookie struggling story. This is about systematic failure, questionable coaching ethics, and how one of the most promising young quarterbacks in the league was set up to fail from day one. We'll examine the evidence, hear from top analysts, and reveal the disturbing pattern that's emerging around how Shedeur has been treated. By the end of this video, you'll understand exactly why this situation has the football world divided and what it means for Shedeur's future in the NFL. Let me paint you a picture of what really happened behind the scenes in Cleveland, because what you saw on game day was just the tip of the iceberg. Throughout the entire week leading up to this preseason game, Shedeur Sanders wasn't practicing with the first team, wasn't practicing with the second team. He was relegated to working with 3rd and 4th string players who, let's be brutally honest, aren't even going to make the final roster. Think about this for a moment. You're a rookie quarterback trying to prove yourself in the NFL, and instead of getting meaningful reps with players who can actually execute plays at a professional level, you're stuck working with guys who are fighting just to stay in the league. These aren't players who are going to be there when it matters. These aren't the guys who know the system inside and out. These are players who are more worried about their own survival than helping a rookie quarterback succeed. But here's where it gets really disturbing. Kevin Stefanski knew exactly what he was doing. When you put a quarterback in practice all week with players who can't hold up protection, who don't run routes with precision, and who aren't in sync with the offensive system, you're not developing that quarterback, you're sabotaging him. It's like asking someone to learn to drive a car with 3 flat tires and then criticizing them when they can't navigate properly. Stephen A. Smith saw this coming from a mile away. Before the game even started, he made a powerful statement that's resonating more now than ever. The Browns are setting up Shedeur Sanders for failure. And looking at how everything played out, it's impossible to argue with that assessment. This wasn't about giving a rookie a chance to develop. This was about creating a narrative. The most infuriating part? When Shedeur finally got his opportunity in the actual game, Stefanski didn't adjust the game plan to account for the fact that his quarterback had been practicing with inferior talent all week. Instead of calling quick, simple plays that would help Shedeur get into a rhythm and build confidence, they ran the same complex, time-consuming plays that require perfect execution from every position. It's like throwing someone into the deep end of a pool when they've only been practicing in the shallow end with water wings. Skip Bayless didn't hold back in his criticism, calling this the worst possible approach to developing a rookie quarterback. He pointed out that this seemed to be part of a disturbing pattern, not just a one-time mistake, but a systematic approach to undermining Shedeur's confidence and development. According to Skip, the Browns weren't just failing to support their rookie, they were actively creating conditions for his failure. This raises serious questions about the coaching philosophy in Cleveland and whether they're truly committed to developing young talent or just going through the motions. What happened to Shedeur Sanders wasn't just about football strategy, it was psychological warfare disguised as coaching. After the game, you could see it written all over his face, broken, frustrated, and filled with doubts like never before. This is a young man who has been supremely confident throughout his college career, someone who thrived under pressure at Colorado, and yet Kevin Stefanski managed to shatter that confidence in a single evening. The psychological impact of what Stefanski did cannot be overstated. When you consistently place a player in situations where success is nearly impossible, you're not just affecting their performance, you're attacking their mental foundation. Shedeur had built his entire identity around being a winner, around rising to challenges, around proving doubters wrong. But what do you do when the system itself is rigged against you? In that emotional post-game interview, Shedeur took full responsibility for what happened, which actually makes this situation even more heartbreaking. Here's a young man who was systematically set up to fail, and instead of pointing fingers or making excuses, he internalized the blame. He said, "All those sacks, they definitely on me," when anyone with eyes could see that his offensive line couldn't protect him, his receivers weren't getting open, and the play calls were completely inappropriate for the situation. This is classic psychological manipulation. When you put someone in an impossible situation and then make them feel responsible for the inevitable failure, you're not just affecting their performance, you're damaging their self-worth. Shedeur's response shows the kind of character and maturity that should be celebrated, but it also reveals how deeply this experience affected him. A confident quarterback was turned into someone questioning his own abilities. The most disturbing aspect is how Stefanski handled the aftermath. Instead of acknowledging that maybe, just maybe, practicing with third-string players all week might have contributed to the struggles, Stefanski doubled down. He remained unyielding in his position, dismissing any suggestion that his coaching decisions played a role in the outcome. When asked directly about whether Shedeur might have been better prepared with first-team reps, Stefanski simply stated that, as a coach, he wants to develop his rookies. But is this really development? Is throwing a rookie quarterback into a game with players he's never practiced with, running plays he's never rehearsed with the actual team, really the best way to help him grow? Or is this something else entirely, a deliberate attempt to humble a player who came into the league with confidence and expectations? The psychological damage from this kind of treatment can last far beyond a single preseason game. When you break down a player's confidence systematically, when you make them question their own abilities despite being set up to fail, you're potentially damaging their entire career trajectory. Shedeur Sanders came into the NFL as a winner, but after one night with Kevin Stefanski's development program, he was left questioning everything he thought he knew about his own abilities. What makes this situation even more infuriating is how the media narrative has unfolded in the aftermath of Shedeur's struggles. As Ocho Cinco predicted, the haters immediately surfaced, calling Shedeur Sanders a failure and claiming he's nothing more than a fifth-string quarterback. But here's what's really disturbing about this response. Nobody wants to talk about the real issue. Who set Shedeur up to perform this way in the first place? This is where the double standards in NFL coverage become glaringly obvious. When an established veteran quarterback struggles behind a poor offensive line or with limited weapons, analysts are quick to point out the systemic issues. They'll break down how the coaching staff failed to put their quarterback in position to succeed, how the game plan was flawed, how the supporting cast let the quarterback down. But when it's a rookie with a famous last name, suddenly it's all about individual failure. Ocho Cinco made a brilliant point when he said that even if you put Tom Brady in that same position, behind that offensive line, with those receivers, running those plays, the outcome would have been no different. This isn't about Shedeur's talent or potential. This is about being placed in an impossible situation and then being blamed when the inevitable happens. But the media narrative completely ignores this context. The name Sanders brings massive attention, and that attention creates a different set of expectations and scrutiny. When Deion Sanders' son struggles, it becomes a story about legacy, about whether he can live up to the family name, about whether he deserves the opportunities he's been given. The focus shifts from the systemic failures that led to the poor performance to personal character assassination. This media circus creates a vicious cycle. The more attention Shedeur receives, the more pressure there is for him to succeed immediately. The more pressure there is for immediate success, the more likely coaches are to make decisions based on managing that pressure rather than what's best for the player's development. And when those decisions inevitably lead to struggles, the media pounces on the failure while ignoring the circumstances that created it. What's particularly frustrating is how this narrative affects Shedeur's future opportunities. As Ocho Cinco pointed out, the attention that comes with the Sanders name could create challenging environments for him on any team. Coaches and front offices might be hesitant to invest in his development because they know that every mistake will be magnified, every struggle will become a headline, every setback will be used as evidence that he doesn't belong. The media's role in this situation isn't just about reporting what happened. They're actively shaping the narrative around Shedeur's career. By focusing on the surface-level struggles while ignoring the systemic issues that cause them, they're perpetuating a cycle that makes it harder for young players like Shedeur to succeed. This isn't just unfair, it's potentially career-damaging for a player who deserves better from both his coaches and the media covering his journey. The response from respected NFL analysts has been swift and damning, with some of the biggest names in sports media calling out the Cleveland Browns for their treatment of Shedeur Sanders. This isn't just casual criticism, this is a coordinated uprising from experts who understand the game at the highest level and recognize systematic failure when they see it. Stephen A. Smith didn't mince words when he declared that the Browns were setting up Shedeur Sanders for failure. Coming from someone with Stephen A.'s credibility and platform, this isn't just an opinion, it's an indictment of the entire Cleveland coaching philosophy. Stephen A. has covered the NFL for decades, has relationships throughout the league, and understands the nuances of player development. When he makes a statement this strong, it carries weight throughout the football community. But Stephen A. wasn't alone in his criticism. Skip Bayless, known for his passionate takes and deep football knowledge, was even more direct in his condemnation. Skip called the Browns' approach the worst possible way to handle a rookie quarterback, and he didn't stop there. He identified this as part of a disturbing pattern, not just a single mistake, but a systematic approach to undermining Shedeur's development and confidence. The fact that Skip used the phrase disturbing pattern is particularly significant. This suggests that what we witnessed wasn't an isolated incident but part of a broader strategy. Skip's analysis implies that the Browns have been consistently making decisions that hurt rather than help Shedeur's development, which raises serious questions about their true intentions. Ocho Cinco brought a different perspective to the discussion, focusing on the practical realities of what happened on the field. His analysis was particularly powerful because he broke down exactly why the situation was unfair. When Ocho said that even Tom Brady would have struggled in that same situation, he was making a crucial point about the impossibility of succeeding when the system around you is broken. What makes these analyst opinions so significant is their collective nature. This isn't one person with an agenda or a controversial take designed to generate clicks. This is multiple respected voices in the football community all reaching the same conclusion. Shedeur Sanders was systematically set up to fail by his own coaching staff. The analysts also highlighted something that casual fans might miss: the long-term implications of this kind of treatment. Ocho Cinco expressed genuine concern about Shedeur's future, pointing out that the attention that comes with the Sanders name creates additional challenges that most rookies don't face. This added scrutiny means that every mistake is magnified, every struggle becomes a story, and every setback is used as evidence against his potential. These expert opinions matter because they shape how the football community understands what happened. When respected analysts unanimously agree that a player was treated unfairly, it creates pressure for change. It also provides context for fans who might not understand the complexities of NFL coaching and player development. Most importantly, it validates what many people suspected but couldn't articulate, that what happened to Shedeur Sanders was wrong on multiple levels. So here's what we know. Shedeur Sanders was systematically set up for failure by Kevin Stefanski and the Cleveland Browns coaching staff. He was denied meaningful practice reps with competent players, thrown into an impossible game situation, and then blamed when the predictable disaster occurred. Despite this treatment, Shedeur showed incredible maturity by taking responsibility for his performance, even though the failure was orchestrated long before he stepped on the field. The expert analysis from Stephen A. Smith, Skip Bayless, and Ocho Cinco all points to the same conclusion: this wasn't about development or giving a rookie a chance to prove himself. This was about creating a narrative and managing expectations through systematic sabotage. The media circus that followed only made things worse, focusing on surface-level struggles while ignoring the deeper issues that caused them. But here's what gives me hope. Shedeur Sanders has shown the kind of character and resilience that can't be taught. Despite being broken down by his own coaching staff, despite facing unfair criticism from media and fans, he's committed to improving and proving his doubters wrong. The road ahead will be difficult, especially with the added pressure that comes with his famous last name. But if anyone can overcome these obstacles, it's someone with Shedeur's heart and determination. The real question now is whether the NFL will learn from this situation or continue to allow young players to be sacrificed for political and narrative purposes. What do you think? Was Shedeur Sanders truly set up for failure, or do you believe he simply needs to perform better regardless of the circumstances? Should Kevin Stefanski be held accountable for his coaching decisions, or is this just part of the tough reality of professional football? And most importantly, do you think Shedeur can bounce back from this systematic sabotage and prove his doubters wrong? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. I read every single one and love hearing your perspectives on these controversial situations. If you found this analysis helpful, smash that like button and subscribe for more deep dives into the stories that really matter in the NFL. And don't forget to hit the notification bell so you never miss our latest content. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.